killers to avoid. We've spoken at length about things we want to highlight, that we want to accurately portray as very good things, appealing things about a business as you go to exit a company or to seek capital. But just as importantly, there are things that can kill deals. There are things that can ruin processes that you want to avoid at all costs. Some of these can be tackled prior to the process. Some things to consider or keep in mind during the process. The first of these is customer concentration. This one can be swayed to some degree, but when a company looks at your revenues and if they see what percentage of your revenues are attributed to the biggest client, the biggest 5 clients, the biggest 10 clients, these are things that you don't want to be overly concentrated. And they used to call this the Walmart problem, but the idea being that if 75% of your revenues come from one client, then that one client has an incredible amount of control over the success of your business. And therefore, you always want to try to keep customer concentrations to minimal as possible. And that doesn't mean don't take business from large clients, but always be thinking as the company is growing, how do we dilute the concentration? How do we grow out of the concentration in other angles? And so keep growing that customer, but grow other avenues of revenue that can counteract it, and therefore no one has the ability to cripple your business or to impair the enterprise value of it from growing over time. The second is when numbers are a mess. And so this is something that can cause an issue prior to a process or during a process. But think about it. If someone's looking to buy your house, if someone's looking to buy a building and there's garbage everywhere and no one knows where anything is and why anything works or doesn't work, it's going to impair the value of that from a real estate perspective. All right, so take that same analogy and apply it to a business. If no one knows why something costs what it costs, why something changed in terms of how much it cost over a period of time, or what something is expected, if someone doesn't have a good handle on what the projected expenses of something are going to be, it can cause consternation, it can cause issues, and it can impair the value. And so look, no business is perfect. There's always loose ends, there's always things that need to be dug into more, and there's things that people haven't thought about in a very long time, because operating a company and selling a business or seeking capital are very different exercises. But that being said, always try to keep things tight, always try to keep things neat, and even before, during, and throughout a process, wherever things can be tied out, cleaned up, and presented as such, it's helpful. The next is key person risk. I remember in a meeting when I first started in investment banking, we had a client who was looking to sell their company. He was actually selling it to the employees of the company, but we were bringing in financing to help execute the deal. And one of the key variables was, can this business continue without the founder being part of it? And so prior to this meeting, we told the founder, we said, listen, we understand you built this business, we understand you grew this business, we take a great deal of pride in it, as you should. However, keep in mind that the ability to transition in this business, or its ability to survive and thrive beyond you, is a key component as to why the bank is going to provide financing here. So as much as we want to emphasize some of the great accomplishments that you've had, we also want to emphasize the business, the machine that's been created that will continue on. And so about 5 minutes into the meeting, he stands up and says, this business was, will, and will never be anything without me. And as you can imagine, the rest of the meeting didn't go terribly well. So think about business from a key person risk. If a business cannot continue or cannot be equally or more successful without a particular woman or man as at the helm of the business, then it's going to be very difficult to substantiate that there's enterprise value. It's going to be very difficult to substantiate that the business can be financed, because if something, God forbid, happens to that person, the business may crumble thereafter. Always focus on, is there a key person risk? And both at the top from the executive level, but also in any particular department, in any particular activity, what are the fail-safes? What are the backup plans for any particular person no longer be part of the business? Now, a bonus deal killer to keep in mind, and this one may seem like the most common sense, but it's something that we want to emphasize, and we do emphasize with all of the clients that we work with, is trust, character, and integrity. Impossible to fake. Takes 30 years to create it, takes 30 minutes to destroy it, but it's something vitally important in every deal. The numbers only go so far, the business only goes so far. At the end of the day, if someone's buying a company, if someone's financing a company, they want to know that there's character, there's integrity, because that's what's in the reputation of the business, and that's what will continue to be in the reputation of the business. I should put it this way. In my history of investment banking, I remember deals that looked like they were going to happen. All of the right things seemed like they were going to happen, but our client would come to us and say, you know what, I just don't have a good feeling about the person at the other side of the table. I just don't feel like their character, their integrity, their honesty is where I want it to be, and it blew up a deal. But conversely, we've been in situations where someone has said, listen, all the numbers aren't exactly as crisp as we'd like them. Look, there's some customer concentration. Look, there's some key man risk, key woman risk that we need to kind of work our way through. However, I feel like the character's there. I feel like the integrity's there. Let's make this happen. Let's work through the other things. Right? That's the baseline component. If that's there, many other issues can be worked through. But when it's not, almost any situation is no good. So those are the 3 deal killers plus a bonus one. Hope the week's going well. Keep pushing forward. God bless. We'll see everyone tomorrow.